Look at that, 9:05, right on time. Hello viewers, it's Popular Paxton and I want to welcome you to this video that will give you a tour of this new layout that I built last night. Today is March 20th, and so this layout was built on the evening of March 19th. So first off, I just want to say that it's been so long, not that since I uploaded a video, it hasn't been super long. I mean, it's been almost a month, or a little over a month, around a month for sure, and I do apologize for that. I know I keep apologizing for lack of videos, but I am doing my best to get more videos released on this channel, and hopefully that can start happening after this layout video. So anyways, what I was really wanting to say was that it's been so long since I've made like an actual layout, like a layout where there's lots of tracks spread throughout the area that all connect and like aren't just like small sets of track that don't circle around and come back to where they start. It's just one. It's like let's say this track that Charlie is on. If this is where one end of the set is, and then a distance later it stops at like the end of this track, that's what I call a set of track. A layout has like all the tracks connecting back to where they start. Yeah, no like dead ends, so to speak. But anyways, let's get this layout tour started. So here we are at Nafford Station, and here on platform 1 we have the 2022 One Thomas Point, Annie and Clarabelle. Just a heads up, there will be some different versions of engines on this layout. That does not mean that they're going to be the versions that I use in future videos, like particularly stories. I just thought it'd be fun to have some different versions of characters on this layout tour. So here's the 2022 One Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. On platform 2 we have Rebecca from the Thomas & Friends Wood range, and she's pulling the Green Express coaches. She's basically pulling the Express instead of Gordon today. And here's the 2022 One Gordon, and just by his face, he's just concerned that Rebecca may have trouble stopping while pulling his Express, and that could make the passengers complain. He's just a bit worried. But anyways, on platform 4 we have Charlie. He's pulling a couple of freight cars. And so yeah, let's just get started on where the tracks go. So on Thomas's line, we'll start from the end of Thomas's platform. His track does a bit of a twist, and it comes to this three-way switch right here, where we have Sir Tom Hatt and his two helpers, his two bodyguards, so to speak. You know, the two workers that are always by his side. Anyways, this three-way switch goes into a tunnel. This is a Brio destination, as you can see right there on that crane. This is a Brio mining mountain that I got off Amazon not too long ago. This top piece right here with the crane included can come off. And yeah, I mean, maybe I'll do a discussion explaining this item a bit further in the future. I don't know. Okay, now I'm having there we go. Yeah, I was having trouble getting it back on there. Yeah, this crane can turn around. I'll just explain this destination a little bit right now. So this crane can spin around. There's a button here that probably turns on. Whoops, sorry, Belle. I'll just push her a little bit further ahead. So yeah, this button can turn on sounds and stuff probably. I don't know, there's no batteries in here. I didn't put batteries in. But you see these two pegs right here, and then these two pegs down there. This piece of cargo that came with this red mining hopper car that came with the mountain. This piece of gold cargo can be placed on these areas where the pegs are, and then the crane can swing around lower its hook, and it can reach down there and pick up the cargo. You see it gets pretty low down there. And this hole in the top of the mountain here, you can even put the cargo inside there and have the crane pull it out from there. And yeah, so anyways, we go through this tunnel and we come over to this area where we've got Douglas and Rocky. So tell me, Gator, how did you get into this accident? Well, the points over there at the sheds were set against me and I couldn't stop in time. The truck started pushing me and I hit the points and came off the rails. Now all this paint is spilled and ruined, and I'm gonna need a wash down when I get back on the rails. That is, if the paint hasn't dried up on me. Oh, don't worry, Gator. The engine wash is just right over there, and I can see Stanley. He's delivering the bubblesome trucks to that area to refill the soap in the engine wash. So right here, Douglas and Rocky are busy cleaning up a little accident where we have Gator off the rails with some trucks filled with paint. This piece of cargo that Rocky is holding, it says the Sodor Paint Company. It came from the James Sorts It Out set. And so yeah, it can go on top of some engines, like particularly James. And I just thought that since it said paint on top of it, it could go with this train of paint cars. So anyways, we've got like a small building right here. This is a little house. This is like a stress squeeze toy. I just got like 2 of these. It may have been one for me and one for my brother, from like some kind of like display fair or something. I just know it came from some kind of like display event. Not like I took it from a display, but these were just being given away at an event or something. I don't remember what happened there because it was just such a long time ago. But yeah, I just use these on my layouts or sets since they can work as little houses even though they're not made of wood. But anyways, making our way past the wreckage of Gator's accident, we have a switch here. This track switches to the left and goes towards the sheds. We'll get back to there in a little bit. And then this track loops around, goes through the back of Boulder Mountain. And yep, there's Boulder. And then down below we have Paxton. And he's pulling some troublesome trucks full of gold, but they could more likely be brown quarry rocks, since the mountain here is brown. So there's Paxton, and he's just waiting on the track here until he's given the all clear signal. I wonder what's going on that he has to wait for an all clear signal. Coming through, Logan. Whoa! Don't worry, Belle. I've come to help you out. Oh, thanks, Flynn. Oh my, that building is burning badly. Stay clear, Edward. We don't need any sparks from those flames landing on your fuel tankers. Oh yes, I'll stay right here until it's safe to proceed. After we go past Paxton, we go up this hill, go through the upper tunnel of the Brio mine. And just one quick thing, the Brio mine came with 2 pieces of ascending track. It's more meant for just a small slope to go through it, although you can have straight tracks go through it if you want. And that's what I did. So anyways, we go through the mine, come over to this area where it looks like Belle was trying to fight a fire on top of that old building right there. So she and Flynn and those fire trucks are working hard. So we go past Bell to here. This is a carry case that on one side it looks like a tunnel. On the other side it looks like the shipping warehouse at Brenham Docks. So Edward, the 2022 Wooden Railway Edward, has been stopped with a train of fuel tankers, and it's not allowed to go past here until the flames are out, so no sparks could possibly touch his fuel tankers. So Edward's standing by until it's safe to proceed, but if we make our way past him, we go down this hill to the cargo transfer station. On the railway line we have with a recycling bin car, and over here on the side on the road we have the Sodor road crew with the rubbish dumper and the street sweeper. The rubbish dumper is collecting rubbish and loading it into Whiff's recycle bins, so that's good teamwork right there. The crane right here is getting ready to pick up a package that's sitting inside Nelson here. And then we go up this hill over the mountain overpass. I recently got some pieces of road ascending track along with 2 road to surface track ramps. Whoops, something fell over. Yeah, my leg knocked over one of the Sir Topham Hatt helper figures. But anyways, on top of the mountain overpass you have the Crosby Station cargo truck. And then it goes down this hill and ends at the ramp shortly after. Now anyways, continuing on the railway line, we have this small building right here. On the railway line we have a switch. Here's Max and Monty, by the way. This track on the left goes through a Vigorstown Diesel Works tunnel, and then it goes over a big hill and then down towards the Diesel Works. We'll get there in just a second. So this big hill right here has a tunnel in each piece at the bottom where trucks can go through it, or road vehicles in this case, like we just saw Flynn a few minutes ago. But anyways, down at the bottom of the hill we come to a few switches here at the Diesel Works. On this first switch we have Airy just chilling out. Not really the best place to be chilling out since he's right on the switches. And then with the way the points are set, we go this way. Here we have Den sitting next to Happy Hook, the Diesel Works crane. Then we go over this small Diesel Works bridge and into the siding where we have Bert and Boko at the oil depot here. Boko is getting ready to be filled up with oil, as you can see there. And it ends at some buffers down here. And then we go back to the switch right here. We go past Happy Hook again into the Diesel Works shed area. Here we have Brio Splatter along with Brio Dodge on this track and Brio Diesel 261 on the turntable. These are recent additions to my collection that I got from eBay not too long ago. And so yeah, these are like the first Thomas characters from the Brio range that I own now. So Splatter goes over the turntable, and then here's Diesel and on this track, and then back there at the very back there's Dennis just in front of some buffers. And then if we go back to this switch, we go down this track. Here's Spancan or Diesel D199. Actually, I meant to say Diesel 199. I just said a YouTuber's username just a second ago. My mistake. Anyways, here's Brio Dodge. Then there's Norman, Dart, and Sydney at the back there. And then inside the Diesel Works shed, there's Derek. As you can see there, he's probably being repaired. His teething troubles have taken effect once again. Or rather, struck again, whatever you want to say. If we go back here to the junction by the transfer station, we can go this way to a switch here with the pedestrian bridge. We got the signals here. This track on the left, both tracks enter the docks here. Because there's the warehouse, like I said, and here's Cranky. Here are Salty and Porter just chatting for right now. And then we've got two cargo ships, one yellow and one white. They're delivering cargo for Cranky to pick up and transfer to some railway rolling stock. But it looks like Salty and Porter will have to put their conversation on hold and get some freight cars or something for the packages. On the track on the right, we still go through the docks, come to the inside of the carry case, where there's a crossover track inside it, which is pretty interesting. Logan's kind of like sitting on like kind of the middle of that area, but not exactly. So anyways, Logan's track goes past this water tower into this tunnel that says Crosby Coal, which means that the Crosby Coal Depot is just up ahead. Some of the flames are jumping onto the ground. We need those coal cars moved away before the flames touch them. Don't worry, I think Stafford's resting in that tunnel over there. Stafford, can you move those coal cars away from the fire? Don't worry, Edward, I'm on it. Come on, you trucks, get moving. That should be good. Hey, what about me? I'm just sitting here at the coal hopper. Don't leave me here. What if the flames come towards me? Don't worry, I'm on it. Thank you. So once we go past this Crosby Coal Depot tunnel, we come to the tipper, you could call it, where some trucks can be placed on this end and then they're lifted up, tipped over, and the coal is dumped into trucks on that end. So here's Logan pushing a truck out of the way, away from the flames. We've got an orange coal hopper, and this track goes to this T-switch, where if we go straight we do a quick turn and go into a shed where Ryan is. And then on this track we come to where Stanley is taking the bubbles from trucks over to the engine wash. If we continue down this track at the docks, we come to where Flynn is at this crossing just next to this bridge. Here's the building that's on fire, and then we come to another area of the quarry where we have this fossil discovery destination. This is part of the clay pits, but I just stuck it with the quarry because we've got Boulder Mountain, this big mine area with the crane and the tunnels. And then continuing on, we come to the Echo Tunnel right here. And then it comes to this switch, which is close to where Stanley is. And Stanley's next to a yellow water tower. And then this switch comes towards the sheds. Go back to this switch right here. We go onto a siding where we have the engine wash. And then we go back there to a shed where Philip is, getting ready to back into that shed for a rest. So at this switch where Stanley is, we have another siding over shed where James is. And then here at the sheds we have Arthur, Neville, Hero, Doug, and Stephanie all resting. And then here at the turntable on this track we have a engine work shed where we have Hank and Molly. This shed I got from a train show back in February. And what's different about this shed than from this one right here is that if I take off the glass roof, even though it's not actually glass of course, but anyways, this shed has these little wooden triangular pieces glued in the corners to keep the pieces of the roof on more better. That was probably done by the person at the table that was selling it and the other stuff. But yeah, it's different than that shed, which has no corner pieces. I'm pretty sure these corner pieces are just a new addition to the shed. But anyways, Hank and Molly are in this shed, and then in this one we have Billy and Oliver. And then if we go across the turntable, we come to this signal house or signal box, which is to control the gates here at this crossing right next to Tidmouth Station. And then if we come around the bend, we come onto a long viaduct. Here we have Bruno, the autistic brake van from All Engines Go. We have the white-faced Chilton truck, the ULP boxcar, 3 of these troublesome trucks carrying crates, 2 troublesome brake vans, one with a black roof and one with a brown roof, and then Murdoch is at the front. And here's the viaduct, because it's curving along the viaduct piece, and then there's another one. And we'll get over to that part in just a second. So here on this side of the viaduct, the track continues, goes down now, and then it continues on until it comes to a tunnel with a sign that says Airport Junction, and here's the junction right here. This track goes straight down the main line. This track curves, comes to another T-switch. And then here is the airport right over here. So you can go either way. It just loops back around and comes back to the junction. We're going to go straight. We come over this short bridge here. And then down here we have 2 control towers. One small and one bigger. And here we have some engines that are dropping off passengers for Jeremy. Here we have Toby and Henrietta. Here we have Daisy, the diesel rail car, and here's Emily pulling old slow coach, and there's Jeremy on the runway waiting for his passengers, and then we'll get ready to take off. There's his hangar right there, and then we go straight down the track and come back to the T-switch right here. Yeah, this is a bit of a tight area with my bed here, and then a short distance by the wall. This end of my bed before the dresser has a short bit of space. But anyways, continuing down the main line, we have Henry pulling a small goods train. There's a little house here, which is probably the house for the lighthouse keeper, because here's the drawbridge with the lighthouse. And here's a small piece of track with a overturned rowboat next to it, with some treasure, gold coins underneath it. And then Henry's waiting for Bulstrode, who's carrying some crates of vegetables for market. Bulstrode's going to go over the drawbridge. And then over here we have a small switch with this part of the line coming to an end in water, and it's got some waves on the end. So I thought it would make sense to put this close to the drawbridge since there's water there. And so now we come to the wharf, even though there are no narrow gauge tracks on this layout. So we just have Colin on his own here with no narrow gauge lines around him. But Colin is waiting for Henry probably. And yeah, I originally had him right here, but then I thought to put him over here because for one thing, he can turn and his arm can still be over the track with this curve in between, as you can see here, but he can also turn around and wait for Bulstrode to come in, and then he'll stop and Colin can get things from water vehicles that are right behind him. So I thought that worked out well. And anyways, we come through this tunnel with 2 signs. This sign says that the wharf is this way, so that's why Colin's here. This sign points towards Tidmouth, even though Tidmouth isn't that close to the tunnel. But yeah, I just put it here since this is the best place I could put the wharf. But anyways, we go through this tunnel and over to some switches over here, which we'll get to in just a second. So coming out of the tunnel, we go through a twisty curve, then to a switch. This track comes to a 3-way switch, and these 3 lines lead to platforms 2 through 4 of Navert Station. And here we have Hugo and 2022 Wooden Railway Kenji with his coach here. They do look almost pretty similar, since Well, Hugo's not a bullet train, but Kenji is. But they do look pretty similar if you stop and think about it, and look at them. But anyways, Kenji is on Charlie's line, Hugo's on Gordon's line. And then back to the switch right here, we have another switch, and this track goes over some wacky track, and then it comes to Thomas's platform. And there's a switch right here, which we'll get to in a second. But let's go back to this switch. We come along this line where Donald is waiting at the crossing for Patrick to go across. Donald is pulling a line of freight cars that have treasure cargo in them. That's pretty cool. Uh-oh, is that Sailor John hiding behind that water tower? Oh dear, he better not try and snatch any of the treasure. Oh dear. But we have a small water tower right here. And then here's a intersection piece. This switch track curves and goes across it. And then if you're going straight across, you can come around behind this signal box. This is a custom signal box that I bought from the user Riotron12 a couple years ago, like a few years ago. Yeah, he made it himself some time ago. I don't know when he did, but I just bought it off of Twitter when he was selling it. And so this track leads towards the yard, and we'll get back to there in a second. Going straight across the intersection from Donald's line, we go through the Knapford Tunnel. Here is the Solar Array Repair, or, whoops, my knee hit the station and pushed it forward a bit, and these guys fell first. Sorry guys. Anyways, the Solar Array Repair, the name I've given him, which I've had since my CGI Ben video days, is Jonathan for the Solar Array Repair. But anyways, Jonathan is getting ready to probably do some track work on this squiggly piece of track. Doesn't look very safe. And so we come to a double crossover track right here, and then these two tracks just end on small sidings underneath the bridge where Belle is still fighting the fire. And yes, there are a few sidings on this layout that I wasn't able to get buffers or ramps on. For one thing, I just didn't have enough space to put buffers and ramps, even though I could put smaller pieces of track like this piece on the ends here and then put buffers or ramps there. I just wanted the sidings to be longer, and I was just a little lazy to dig through my track bends and pull out ramps. But anyway, back on that track behind the signal box, there's the 2022 Winnemucca Percy pulling the mail coach, and he's shocked because there are trees falling on his line, and so Kelly the Crane is trying to pick them up and get them out of his way. Here's a small building right here with a beehive, as you can see right there. We have a 5-way switch here. This track goes to the double crossover track. This track goes along this line. Stafford was just going this way. It goes under the bridge here, over the crossing, behind the burning building, to this part of the tipper. And then here's the Crosby coal loader, or hopper, more like. Stafford's got these cars out of the way, and there's some buffers over there at the end. And we've got some hazard stripes here on the track. This middle line is a siding next to like a bakery or something. Let me just see here. Yeah, the Solar Mill, actually. This is an item I got in the mail recently for some other stuff. Here we have Steven pulling the spiteful brake van and a small truck carrying some milk. He's delivering it to the mill to help with some bakery items. And he's got some buffers in front of him. Here's a small siding here with the dairy manager and the miller with some buffers. And then this track that Stafford was recently on, it goes through the mountain overpass and ends on a small siding under the bridge. And here are George and Buster, the steamrollers. And then that's pretty much it on this layout. So yeah, Let me just stand up here and give you guys one last look at it. Like I said in the beginning, it's been such a long time since I've made an actual layout. Ever since back in my old house, ever since my room was redone a bit, and some stuff was moved around and stuff, I just never had the space to make an actual good layout that connects back up from one end to the other. So this is probably like my first layout in quite a few years, but I think it turned out alright, even though I couldn't get all my destinations and stuff on the layout. Like I've got a couple right there, several on the table here, and even several destinations in bins down in my garage. So yeah, so you may be wondering, will this layout be used for any videos, like say episodes? Well, today I would just say maybe. I am wanting to get back to making episodes. What I'm currently thinking about doing for my series is that for Trains Galore, which is the current name I've been trying to use for my series, even though I've been kind of restarting on it a couple of times, and I'm gonna probably be starting again on it, because what I'm wanting to do is that besides making original stories, I also am thinking that I want to do kind of remakes or adaptions or somewhat, or whatever the word might be, of existing Thomas and Friends episodes, because there are some episodes that I feel like there could be some things I would do differently in that episode. And well, I just want to try to make my own versions of existing episodes and also do original episodes as well. So basically, my new attempt on Trains Galore is going to start off as the original series started, but there will be differences in the episodes. And then there will be original stories every now and then, but I hope to have a good amount of original stories and not have the majority of the series be like remakes or adaptations of existing episodes. Yeah. So these rewrites of existing episodes will be what the series starts with, but there will hopefully come some original stories not long after, and then it will just be a bit of rewrites and original stories, not like taking turns, but just a few of these, a few of that, you know. So anyways, I think that wraps up this layout video. I'm hoping I can get started on filming some episodes soon. And yep, so thanks so much for watching this layout video, guys. I hope you like it. And I'll see you on the next video, which will hopefully be an episode, or it could be something else for all we know. Okay guys, bye for now.